everybody. It's a great day in Clarkston. Let's go check it out. Bye now. I will. It's a great day.
There you go. You're welcome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to It's a Good Day When. I'm your host, Levon Upton, and today it's a good day when Matt Herron gets to do what he loves. But it's a sad day when his time spent here at Independence Television comes to an end. Matt is usually on the other end of the camera, but today he asked me to have him on my show so that he could have some closure with his friends and co-workers who wanted to know about his departure. I gladly agreed to do that. Thanks for being on the show, Matt.
Thank you for having me, Levon.
Matt has been the creative producer at Independence Television since the partnership with Clarkston High School and Independence Township began in September of 2013. He was offered the job because of his interest and his background. He studied film and video at Columbia College, and he came here with many skills that have contributed to the success of Independence Television.
I appreciate you saying that, Levon.
Yeah, it's
nice.
been great having you here.
Mm-hmm.
Matt is leaving to go back to Hollywood, however, as he has a job awaiting him there as an assistant editor to a friend that edits network TV. That's pretty exciting, Matt.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's going to be really cool.
Well, Matt is originally from Clarkston, and I'd like to start by having him tell us a little about himself. Matt, you went through Clarkston schools and graduated from Clarkston High, right?
That's correct. I actually grew up right here in Clarkston. Both my brothers and myself attended CHS, and I was fortunate to get a lot of the training that I have for, excuse me, the work that I do now, right here in the studio where we're recording our interview. Although the studio looks a lot different than back when I was in school.
How so?
You know, when we partnered with Independence Television and brought everything over here, we got a fair amount of money from Comcast. They have these PEG fees that pay for the local cable channel, and so there were a lot of renovations that happened. We got a new TriCaster, which they're showing on the screen right now. That's like a very professional broadcasting equipment that's used at like the college and the news world level. All of our cameras were updated, and even like the editing softwares and stuff. When I started here, we were taking VHS tapes out of tape decks and putting them into a machine. So the technology has changed a lot. And it's really cool to come back here and do some of the things that I was doing 10 years ago with, you know, improved equipment.
Can do a lot more creative things.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about what the vision was for Independence Television when you started.
Well, when I came here, Independence Television didn't have a whole lot going on, like, honestly. There was a couple of like board meetings and like some local church groups that filmed content. But I found out about the job through, you know, old family friend and the high school media instructor, Scott Banks. He told me that they were going to be partnering, that they were going to get all this equipment, and that they had high hopes for it, you know, that they were going to have real programs, and not only were they going to like improve the broadcast of sports games and things like that, but that there was going to be content that we were going to make that was like real TV. So
the real deal.
The real deal, yeah, that's kind of how I put it earlier.
Yeah, so what that means is like more mainstream television? Is that what you're saying that their goal was?
I guess like from our supervisors and our bosses, hopes. They wanted the channel to feature more local businesses, to kind of get the word out about things that are happening in the community. We have stuff that we do with the Parks and Recreation Center. There's shows that, a lot of the students in the high school, that's the cool thing about this, they make content in the classroom, and then instead of just airing on the school announcements, they get to broadcast that stuff on TV so their friends at home can watch it online and on the internet. But yes, we definitely wanted to have some shows that had a little more creativity, and that's why I got brought here. There's a certain element to any show that you have to be able to conceptualize it and kind of script it out, and so I'm here to kind of facilitate people as they have ideas and need to shape them.
Well, tell me about your family in Clarkston, Matt.
My family in Clarkston, I grew up here since I was a little kid. I have 2 brothers. One is now 28, and the other one is 25 this April. They're both very close with me. We were only 2-3 years apart from each other. And then my mom and my dad grew up here in Clarkston. My mom grew up in Pontiac. But we've been a part of this community for a long time. I have some very close friends here that live in Michigan that I consider my family. A lot of deep roots and stuff being here, and coming back to Michigan the last 2 years this February has been a special thing for me because I was away from a lot of it for so long.
And you're a family kind of guy.
I am. I was raised in a good family. I was fortunate enough to, have good parents and a mom that stayed at home and raised me, and they mean a lot to me.
I'm sure. Yeah. I know you'll miss them too. But tell me about your journey thus far.
Oh gosh, my journey, I guess, starting with Clarkston High School and then afterwards, it's a lot, but I'll try to kind of nutshell some of the things that I've done.
Yeah, related to the business, of course.
Yeah, and how my skills and stuff apply. I went to Columbia College Chicago, which is a liberal arts school in Chicago. I was actually suggested to go there by Mr. Banks, who's the media instructor, and I studied film there. I originally went to Columbia because I had a passion in high school for video editing, and I wanted to be a film editor. And then as I kind of progressed through school, I became more interested in character development classes and screenwriting courses, and even producing classes. You have to take a couple production classes where you make your own films and stuff, and there's a lot that goes into it that people don't really see happen behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, if you had to give yourself a professional title, how would you describe yourself?
As far as professional skills and stuff are concerned, I have different skill sets. I am definitely a screenwriter. I've written a handful of screenplays now. I do consider myself a good producer. I've made some short films, nothing at the feature length yet. And then I also have an interest, as a lot of people know, but in managing writers. I read a lot of scripts because I think it makes me a better writer, and managers are there to kind of help people who aren't as good at conversating with another person in a room to tell the other person hey, this is what this guy's script's about, or this is what this woman's screenplay is, and it's really marketable and it's really this, and I think I would enjoy helping other writers kind of reach their own dreams as much as I would like to see my own realized.
So you have an interest that's well-rounded in all aspects of the business, it sounds like.
Yeah,
you could go any way with it.
Do the business and the creative stuff.
Well, you've talked privately about some of the things that are important to you, and some people tend to think that those who aspire to go out to Hollywood and become successful in show business are seeking money and fame. But in your case, it sounds like your priorities are a little different.
I would say so, yeah, definitely. I think the one thing that motivates me the most is my dad passed away 8 years ago this year, actually. And I remember like the last thing that he said to me and asked of me was that I take care of my mother and my brothers. And as the eldest son in my family, that's something that means a lot to me. And so I kind of feel a responsibility to fulfill his last request and to take care of my mother. And it's not about a money grab for me or wanting to be on television, you know. Those things are fine and nice, but really, you know, houses and cars are great, and I've given a lot of thought to what I think matters, and I think it's kind of a universal truth that we all want to, you know, leave a mark on the world when we're gone, and we want to learn.
And have a legacy.
Yeah, and share with people a piece of us, you know, so that it lives after we are gone. And that's why we have our children, so that they can kind of carry on, you know, parts of our personality. We paint pictures, we write books, and in my case, I make films. You know, I want to share something that mattered to me and have it kind of live forever, I guess, you know.
Like your legacy,
like
something
legacy,
that makes a difference.
And I do. I want to raise kids like my dad and be a good husband and father, and more than anything, keep like the good morals and ethics and things that he kind of bestowed on me and my brothers, you know, in the forefront of the picture.
Well, I know we discussed a little bit about this off the air, that you don't feel that you're reaching your full potential right now in this current situation, so that's why you're ready to move on. But can you elaborate in any way about the way you feel?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting way to put that, but there are certain like restrictions of the job, certain things that you know, are just inherent in working for a public access station. You know, in the real world with television and film, productions are funded. You know, there's money that gets spent on every crew member. They call it below the line talent, above the line talent, and you're paying for your actors, you're paying for your cameramen, you're paying for you know, everything from craft services to locations, and those things like add to what you're making. And also, it doesn't allow working for a government-funded company for the productions. Let's say we did make a really great show, and a network like NBC said, "Hey, I like that high school comedy that you guys made. We'd like to buy it." Because they finance us and fund us, we couldn't take the show out and pitch it or sell it. So it kind of puts a ceiling on the amount of money that you can earn with what you're making. So, well, you know, like I do enjoy the idea that some of my creative efforts, you know, I'll be able to profit from down the road.
Sure. Yeah. It definitely serves a different purpose. The public access is for the people.
Yeah, it is. It's for the community, correct.
For the community. Well, what was your experience in Los Angeles from the years 2008 to 2013 when you came back here?
Well, I started out with a semester in LA, Columbia College. It's one of the like things I'll kind of give kudos to them for. They have a like a bridge program for filmmakers, whether you're a producer, writer, director. You go out different times throughout the course of the year, and it kind of transitions you into the business. So I had to go through an application process. I wrote a letter about why I wanted to move there and do a screenwriting fellowship with 10 other writers. And they selected me. I went out there and I wrote a...
out there meaning Hollywood.
Hollywood, at CBS Studios,
CBS
actually.
Studios,
and at the CBS lot, we had to write a movie script in 5 weeks, which was really cool. You know, we had to write 7 pages a day, and there were industry people coming in and talking to us. And I wrote this this comedy that a friend of mine, he wrote Corky Romano and Deuce Bigalow. He kind of liked the idea and said, like, hey, you know, send me your pages as you're going, and I'll help you put this stuff together and take it out. And so, you know, I was 21 years old, and I got this guy telling me that he's going to take my movie out to, and he did. He took it to Fox and Universal. We had actors interested in playing roles in the film. And so I called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, you know, I got to move to Hollywood, you know, like I'm going to sell a movie script. And that didn't end up happening. But it did build some confidence in me. I ended up getting a paid writing assignment doing a parody of High School Musical called Private High Musical that was in the same vein. And then, you know, while I was out there, I worked a lot of different stuff. I did some reality TV casting. I worked for restaurants. I was with a management company before I moved back here. You know, there was a point when I was working at like a deli, you know, like making pastrami sandwiches and stuff, you know, and you still meet interesting people because they all come in and shop there, but you have to do what you have to do to kind of sustain and make a living and, you know, keep your creative endeavors still like in sight while you're doing that.
I see. So what's the first thing you're going to do when you get to LA?
Gosh, the first thing I'm gonna do, I don't know. I'll probably park my car and try to unpack my bags, or you know, kick my feet up. But I think what I really want to do is just walk down to the sand and kind of dig my toes into it, and you know, just look up at the sun. It's I came home last year after being there 4 years, and it was one of the coldest winters in the history of Michigan.
That's right, it was.
And it'll be a surreal thing because like I left a lot of that behind to come back here and then to like transition back. I think that would kind of
enjoy the beauty of the
like that moment of it, like
yeah.
it'll be realized, I guess.
Well, what are your long-term goals? Are you even thinking about that right now?
You know, long term, I guess, like if I get at my dream job, people ask you what your dream job is. I'd like to write and direct my own films. I think that would be really cool. It's you know, a lofty goal to reach for. There's a lot of people that want to be directors. But I enjoyed the business side of the industry as well. I think I was telling you, you know, like even kind of producing from behind the scenes or, you know, managing other writers and stuff in their careers. That sort of stuff would be just as fulfilling to me. Maybe a little less glamorous, but.
Well, having your finger in all the pies, you know, you can settle in where you enjoy it the most.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you've written and produced short films and commercials, correct?
I have. We've actually done a lot of that stuff right here at the high school. We've come up with a number of like short narratives and stuff that are themed for, you know, everything from high school dances to like spin-offs of TV shows, and then we encourage the kids to also participate in contests because there's scholarships and money for them to win after they kind of refine their skills as filmmakers. And so I came home, I did a commercial for Wild Turkey Bourbon with Scott Banks over the summer, and that ended up on a short list with a company called MoFilm. They had like 90 some countries submit, and we were in their top 10, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I believe it. I've seen some of the things you've done with the students.
Yeah, and this.
Are you surprised how creative they are?
It's amazing to me how creative they are. They're actually really talented and really eager, and I love working with them. I think we have a clip here of one of the projects we made for MoFilm.
Oh, good.
It's
yeah.
a commercial for Axe hair gel.
Axe hair gel.
Yeah, and they got a whole new brand that they're pitching. You can take a look at it. Kind of silly seeing myself up there as the DJ, you know, for the students. But the reason we chose that project was they there's a number of students in the school who are dancers, and that's something that we try to do as instructors in the media course is find out what they are interested in and then apply it. So sure, they wanted to enter a contest where they could make some money and you know, make a cool video, but it was actually really easy for them because I said, hey, you're going to be a choreographer for a dance team, and you're going to put on a concert for, or you're going to be like the entertainment for this DJ's concert. We spent a few weeks on it, but for a high school project, I think that turned out really professional.
What I saw, it did. It looked wonderful. Well, tell me about your screenplays. What genre do you write about?
I guess I started out with comedies. You know, I told you about the high school comedy I wrote, and then the Private High musical was like a spin-off of, you know, High School Musical. Recently, I've done a sports movie that's kind of like a sports movie for kids. It's very family-friendly, a feel-good story. It's called The Walk-On, and it takes place at Michigan State. There's a young boy who's dreamt his whole life about going there, and through a lightning strike actually that he encounters, he gets the opportunity to play for MSU because he grows a lot. It's kind of like a nutshell version of it, but it's fun. I kind of relate to the main character a lot. And then I wrote a children's adventure story recently that's a pirate adventure that's kind of like the Goonies meets the Rugrats.
Well, you run the gamut, don't you, of interest in different styles?
You know, it's not so much that I have a genre. Like, there's a lot of people that pigeonhole themselves into like, oh, I'm a horror writer, or, oh, I write, you know, romantic comedy. I try to like come up with premises and concepts that I think are marketable. It's a really difficult thing to sell a screenplay. So when you get the opportunity to tell someone the story, you want them to kind of be like, hey, that's really clever. I like that.
Well, what makes a good movie or a good story?
There's a lot that goes into, you know, a good movie, I guess. Like, good writing is definitely important. The actors, you know, they play a huge role in being convincing with their performances. But I think a story that we kind of lose ourselves in, that, you know, everyone has a different taste for genres, but there's something out there that all of us connect to, and that kind of touches us personally. And I think, you know, great movies are honest. You know, there's something about them that's just honest.
Is that what Birdman was honest?
Birdman? I think that Birdman was, you know, it paralleled Michael Keaton's career. That there's a certain honesty in him playing that role because he probably relates to it. But I think that, you know, the film itself is just trying to be respected. You know, there's a lot of things that go into people qualifying actors, but being a celebrity versus being like a talented person.
Well, I know you're a movie buff. That's why I mentioned that.
Yeah, I absolutely am. I'm kind of I'm a big fan of like my favorite directors and stuff. I definitely, you know, have like certain films that I've seen 100 times, and I enjoy like seeing how the landscape changes. People are trying to reinvent the wheel, for lack of a better way of saying it, and they say there's only so many stories that you can tell, but I really, I enjoy, you know, every year's Best Picture contenders and even like the independent things that, you know, who would have thought to tell a story like that? It's a cool thing.
Well, you're interested in all aspects of the business. How about acting? Are you interested in acting?
No, not so much. You know, I kind of hate seeing myself on screen. A little later in the broadcast, we're going to play a video that has like clips from student work and things that we've made here at the high school. And I am featured in it, you know, as either a teacher or, you know, you'll see me directing and stuff. But I have a huge appreciation for people who do it well. You know, it's not really my thing. I'm better behind the scenes or on paper. You have to have good acting to have a good movie.
Well, Matt, where are you along the path to your goals?
Path to my goals. I guess it's hard to say. I've done enough to impress some of the people I'll be working with when I get to Los Angeles, but you're always growing as a person, and I know I still need to learn a lot. That's kind of the cool thing about working in the movie industry is the people who are successful, you know, they've been doing it their whole lives and, you know, pursued it that way. And so they've seen the obstacles, they know the lay of the land, and they can kind of teach me some of the things that I don't know, which is it's cool.
Well, one of your personal inspirations is a man named Ari Emanuel. He's a talent and literary agent, you tell me, in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And he's been quoted as saying that there's 6 life lessons to live by, that he lives by. One is, quote, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you and get out of their way. Is that what you've tried to do? Surround yourself with people smarter than you? Is that why you're sitting here with me?
That's why you're here today, Levant. No, I wouldn't say that, like, I think it's more about just being able to, like we were talking about before, to learn from somebody. You know, there's a lot of people out there who are really talented, and it's more about helping them, you know, reach their goals. You know, doing the little things that they need so that they can continue to succeed, and just emulating their careers. I think everybody needs inspirations in life. You know, you talk to professional athletes, and they've all got one player or someone that they looked up to. And we need that. We need that bar to set for ourselves, that example to follow. And I mean, sure, anytime you can put a bunch of people who know more than you do around yourself, you're going to learn. And that's what we have to do.
And I think what it means by get out of the way is you don't have to go in there proving that you know everything.
Right.
Just be quiet and listen and learn.
The people who are the most successful are generally good listeners, and they pay attention. They watch what's going on.
Well, what do you think you have to sacrifice, or if anything, in order to attain your goals?
Well, I mean, it's all about weighing what's important to you, and that's something that you know, it's a tough reality sometimes. I've had to, like, confront it in my adult life that certain things are going to get left at the wayside when you devote all your time to one thing. There's, you know, a video about success that this success guru talks about. They played it here at the high school, and he basically says, you know, like, you don't want to be successful, you only kind of want success, you know, because he takes this guy out into the ocean, and he makes him, like, walk a little further and further and further until the guy's, like, above his head in water, and, you know, like, the guy's drowning down there, and he's like, you know, it's like, this old guy's crazy, what's he doing to me? But he said, you know, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you'll be successful. Because people don't want to be successful as much as they want to party, or people don't want to be successful as much as they want to be cool. The people who are really successful at what they do, they have a passion for it, and they give their life to it. And when you do that, there's certain things I've even considered, you know, like, will this mean that it kind of puts me having a family on hold for a period of time? Or, you know, what kind of things will I have to give up to have what I want?
I'm just thinking of Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich. It's an old book. It's a classic, though. And he said, what are you willing to give up in order to have what you want?
To have what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are some sacrifices you know that you'll have to make.
Absolutely. That's.
Well, what about a timeline? Are you thinking of a timeline by when you want to have a certain
sooner
goal?
than later, you know, but no, that's kind of the beauty of finding a passion in life, I think.
Enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I could have something extraordinary happen, you know, 2 weeks from now. It could be 10 years from now. And, you know, it doesn't really matter to me, because when you love what you're doing, you can be happy in that. You know, sure, you're striving for more, and you're going to keep working hard because you have goals. But if you're willing to put the hours into something, you will eventually, you know, reach your goals. That's just the natural way of life.
Progression, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine you're just glad to be getting back out there, getting started.
I really am. I had some cool things going on before I came back here, and some reasons for coming back. I was, seeing a girl long distance, and I was, worried about my mother, but my mom's health's good. I've moved on from my relationship, and I'm ready to kind of focus on myself.
And you have friends out there.
Oh yes, I have a whole second family out there. There's some people that miss me and that I've talked to. They're really excited to have me back. I spent 4 years there, so it was
That's a long time.
a big part of my adult life.
Yeah. Well, tell us about some of the other opportunities besides, if you didn't already.
Yeah.
Besides the editing job you've been offered that you're excited about.
Yeah, I think the reason that we kind of put this question out there is the editing job that I'm going to do is a good money job. It's something that will keep me afloat while I'm living there, and
that's all good.
That's important.
Yeah.
But I am trying to pursue, like I said, still selling my own screenplays, still finding ways to manage my own roster of writers. And I have a lot of friends, that I went to college with or who I just met out there who were doing some really cool stuff themselves.
So some freelance stuff that you can always be looking for.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And I want them to succeed. I think that's something I've talked to some of the guys that we work at the studio about. We, as people, too often get wrapped up in our own stuff, and we forget to lend a hand to somebody else. And really, you don't help somebody because you're looking for that reimbursement or whatever, or immediate gratification. But down the road, if you help somebody get where they want to be, then they come back, and when you're in need or they can help you, then they're more apt to do it. They want to.
Yeah, you never know who's going to end up in what role in the business.
Right. That's why you have to be nice to the people who run coffee. They say that all the time. The craft service people on set. Because if you're an actor and you go do something snobby to the peon, who's on the set, and then 5 years from then they're a studio executive. Well, guess who's not getting the role in the movie? Because you have to respect everyone and
even the guy that makes
together.
the Reuben sandwich, right?
Even the guy who makes the Reuben sandwich. There was people who were rude to me, impatient as ever.
Yeah. Little did they know.
I hope they don't cross me.
What part of your position as a producer here at Independence Television did you enjoy the most?
There's so many rewards to this job, but I do think the students are kind of my life. They taught me so much, and they really do keep me on my toes. They're really eager and talented, and it's just a special thing to be able to, walk into a room and have 25 kids share their creativity with you and work alongside you to see something come to fruition, a project or a video.
Yeah, just their energy and their enthusiasm is catching,
It's so catching, and it's funny. They have so much youth that I'm jealous of.
Well, you still got a lot of years
I
on you.
appreciate that.
Well, you've really helped kickstart the studio here in Clarkston into something much bigger than what most public access stations are. So, can you summarize some of the more important accomplishments?
Well, we talked earlier about how we're kind of different than your typical station as far as original content goes. We started a show with a group of women who were in the community that do a fashion, food, wellness, and family
Fitness,
show.
yeah.
It's kind of supposed to be styled in the vein of The View. But we're also, I have to give you kudos for all the people you've brought into our studio. There's a lot of people who have benefited as business owners or just musicians who got to get the word out about the music they're making. These sorts of things, are above and beyond the expectations of a public access station, and it's something that it does make us stand out. People are actually looking for our channel on TV and looking for their shows and things that they were a part of.
Well, Matt, how are you feeling?
Oh gosh, it's bittersweet. I'm so excited to have a second chance at going back out there and I know that I'm going to miss a lot of what I've gotten to do here. But I learned so much, and it was a tremendous opportunity to work for the school district that raised me. I made friends with faculty and students and community members. I reconnected with dozens of old friends and family, and I feel truly blessed for all the great experiences my hometown in Detroit has given to me. But with that, I think it is time for me to go back. I'll be in LA on Monday, kind of refreshed and excited for the challenges and opportunities that await. And I just thank everyone for all of the love and support I've had along the way. It's time for me to make my own dream come true.
Well, let me end with a thought that I think is appropriate. It's a quote from Martha Graham, who was a highly acknowledged choreographer. You may not remember her, but she was really very famed in her time.
Sure.
Quote, "There is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and will get lost." So what I wish for you is for you to go out and express your creativity in the unique way that only you can do.
I appreciate that. I certainly will.
We'll miss you, Matt.
I'll miss you guys too.
Well, we're going to take a look back at some of the work that Matt did here at Independence Television. And the rest of you, go out and make it a good day.
I'm gonna bail.
Did someone say now? I'm done. Wow, you look great.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Ryan. I'm 17 years old and I am this year's bachelorette.
I'm Nathan Rogers. I'm a senior at Clarkson High School and I'm looking for love.
Julio can't even remember her own name.
So I guess that can be considered technology. I'm super ecstatic that Nathan is a boyfriend.
We're gonna be really good friends. And if I'm lucky, more than that.
I'm Kimberly Chambers. Is that all I say?
I just remember thinking, oh my God, this girl is smoking.
Hey, stop! Have fun. Bye.
Is there something going on between you two?
I think she likes him. You should ask him Mercedes.
Do you really think I should? Well, how should I do it then?
I have a note up here for a Jake Rose. There's Jake Rose here today.
You did. I got your note right here.
Give me that. Hi, Jake.
Hi.
Are you okay?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Oh, well, I have something for you. So will you go with me?
Yes, I will.
university, and I literally don't know anybody.
That toss is pretty rad.
Thanks.
That was nice. Let's do this one with a little more energy, a little more emphasis.
I noticed you had a really beautiful voice today.
Thanks, you too.
Would you be interested in hanging out sometime?
Sounds great. Meet me in the library after school today?
All right.
Meeting on 6, check. Checkmate.
What? Oh, do you want to go get a snack sometime?
Sounds great. Meet me in the library after school today? That just happened?
Very good gift.
A gift? For me?